All right, let's get practicing in QuickBooks Online. Grab the link below so that you can follow along. All right, here we are in the QBO gym, and the QBO gym is really just a set of exercises that help simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Now, every single month we have it broken down into 4 different categories, and within each category is a set of exercises for you to complete. So today we are going to work in the June warm-ups section. When you click on it, you'll see the little video at the top. Be sure to watch this. This is a little synopsis of what's going on in for the month in Craig's world. He is our fictitious business owner. And when you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see a little quiz that relates to the video you just watched. And if you keep scrolling, you will see all of the exercises within this section. So today we are going to work on processing bank feeds. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. All right, and this pops up. We are going to be working in the sample company. That's where we always work to practice. If you're not sure how to access it or how to get your own free QBOA account, be sure to click on the link below in the description. All right, so processing bank feed transactions. After you have input all the sales and expense transactions, it's time to process bank feeds. This means comparing what went into and out of the bank and making sure that there is a correct record of it in QBO. So basically, you are just matching up what is in QBO with what is in your bank feed to make sure that everything is harmonized to get together. All right, so the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to go on the left nav bar. You're going to select banking and then click banking again. Here is the sample company. This is the dashboard. Over on the left nav bar, here is banking. We are going to click on that banking, that second one there. And this is what comes up. All right, so for step 2, in a real life scenario, you would want to double check to make sure that what QBO thinks is a match is actually matched correctly into QBO accounts or transactions. Since you are the one that entered the transactions in the first place, you can usually do this fairly easily with a quick glance. For this exercise, we are going to assume that the matches are correct. Okay, so first you want to filter out and get the potential matches. So you will click on the All Transactions dropdown and then select Potential Match, which is right here. You will click the arrow and then select Potential Match. And you will see these all populate below. All right, so step 3, there's a couple of transactions that have multiple matches, so we're going to go through those first. You're going to scroll down and you're going to click on the Pam Sites transaction. Keep in mind that the dates here may be different than what you see when you are doing this at home. It's just a default from the sample company. For the purposes of this exercise, it's not going to matter. So to know if there is more than one match, you can see right here, it says 2 matches found. So we're going to just click on that transaction so it expands a little bit more. All right, step 4. When attempting to match, QBO only searches by amount. When you look at the options, however, you can see that the bank description matches the expense recorded for Pam's sites. Okay. So here you see that it's 75 and here's 75. So like I said, QBO will try to match transactions based off of the amount. So you see there's a 75 here and a 75 here. But this one is for Pam Sites. This is what the bank says and you have it here. And this one is what Books by Bessie. So you know that the one that is at the actual match is this one, this expense 76. Okay, so once you, sorry, I forgot to click match, which is this green button down here. All right, and that has moved on. Okay, so now we are going to go down to the squeaky clean car wash transaction. And that one is here. Yep, you'll see that there are 2 matches found here as well. So I'm going to click into that. They have different types and transaction dates. So you're going to select the one that matches the date of the bank feed and then click match. In a real life situation, you'll want to investigate the other transaction later. Okay, so what we're talking about is two different types here. So you have the credit debit and the cash expense. They're both showing as $19.99, but if you look at the date here, this one says the 25th and this one says the 18th. This up here is the 25th. So you know that the two here are matching, and that's you're going to click on the green match button. All right, so steps 7 and 8. Now you should only have single matches left, so you can accept them all in a match batch. So you're going to click on the little checkbox at the top of the column and select all of the transactions. And when the black bar appears, you're going to select accept. Okay, so if you wanted to scroll down, you can see all it says is just one match found. That's how you know that there's only single ones left. So you're just going to click on this top bar right here, and you will see that you have options. You're going to click on the black button that says accept. All right, and now that one is all of those are completed. Okay, so since there are no more matched transactions on the list, you're just going to clear the filter by clicking on the potential match. So here's that potential match filter. Just click on the X. Okay, and you'll have a couple more show up here. And that is because they could not find a match. These are called uncategorized income or expense. Okay, so step 10, you will see that there was money received from Books by Bessie, who is Craig's former bookkeeper. Craig confirms that he overpaid her final bill and that she has sent this refund. So we're going to click on the Books by Bessie transaction here. All right, and you can see that money was received. That's that $55 there. Step 11, we are going to use the category dropdown to select legal professional fees, bookkeeper, and then click add. Keep in mind that when you have refunds that you always want to have them categorized back to the original account the transaction was recorded in. Okay, so in the category, we are going to go down to legal. Actually, I'm just going to type it in legal, professional, and here we go, bookkeeper. Okay, and then you can click add. All right, and that one has disappeared. You will need to ask Craig about the A rental transactions to find out the story of what happened here. There are 3 transactions. But first, we're going to do a little investigation into Hicks hardware transaction. So before adding from the bank feeds, you should always search to see if you can find a transaction that may be entered into QBO incorrectly. So we're going to click on the Hicks hardware transaction first, and then we're going to try to find a match. So click into Hicks hardware. Click on this button, find match. Okay, and then this is what's going to pop up. Okay, QBO is trying to find the match for the 2438 is the dollar amount. Okay, you will notice that there is a Hicks hardware transaction that is just 2 cents different than the bank feed. Whenever there is a discrepancy like this, the bank is always right. Again, no matter what, the bank is always right. So this means that you will need to find and adjust the QBO transaction. So we're just going to click cancel for right now. But first, I want to show you, here's that Hicks hardware. This is showing as 2436 instead of 2438. So we're just going to exit out of this. All right. And now there's a couple of ways to search for incorrect transactions, but for this exercise, we'll just do a search for Hicks hardware. So from the left nav bar, you're going to click on expenses and select vendors. Okay, expenses here on the nav bar, and you're going to go down to vendors. All right, and we're going to scroll to find Hicks hardware and then select it. So scroll down. Yep, there's Hicks hardware right there. We're just going to click on it and these transactions will populate. All right, we're going to locate the $24.36 expense and click view and edit. Okay, here it is, $24.36. We're just going to view and edit it. And this is what will pop up for you. This is the expense. We are going to change the amount to $24.38 and then click Save and Close. So we are just going to click into here and adjust it so it's 38 cents instead. And if you tab over, you will see that QBO has already changed that for you. So we will click the green Save and Close button. All right, and then step 18, we're going to go back to the banking center so we can continue where we left off by clicking on banking and then selecting banking from the left nav bar. Okay, so here's banking, banking. All right, we are back to here. And look, this says one match found because we made that adjustment on the QBO, the expense there. And so now QBO is able to find that match. But we're going to go into step 19. Like I just said, you saw that it matches. And so we are going to click on match here. Okay, and now it has moved on. Okay, and now as we mentioned before, you'll want to ask Craig later about the A-rental transactions, but for now we're going to move on to processing the transactions in the savings account. Just keep in mind that when you are processing bank feeds, if you have multiple bank accounts or like a checking and a savings or credit cards, you're going to need to go through those each month. Okay, so we're going to move forward while this is being checked with Craig to go onto these savings. And then you will see that there is only one transaction in there, so we are going to click match. And look, it even matched it for us. Okay. And that is it. You have finished all processing. You are all finished processing your bank feeds today. You will work on the MasterCard account another time. If you have any questions about the QBO Gym, just click in the link below in the description. If you haven't already, be sure to do the other exercises in the June warm-up section, which include a part 1 and part 2 of adding expenses, as well as adding a recurring contract. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video in the June strength section.